We're talking with David Hull, bass player, musician, who has had an amazing musical journey. He's currently with David Hull and Dirty Angels. They'll be playing at the Rutland Sportsmen's Club on August 16th. They're opening for the Joe Perry Project on a bunch of gigs in the New England area. He's actually played with Aerosmith, filling in for Tom Hamilton on bass while Tom was battling cancer. Of course, he was in Fahrenheit. And David, you've jammed with so many people. Where did you start your musical journey?
Southern Connecticut, down by New York City. And that's where I grew up, and I started playing down there, when I was a teenager and all that. And I moved here to Boston. I'm here, but I moved to the Eastern Massachusetts area, Boston, Worcester, New England in general, in about 82, 84, in there somewhere. And I got a job, actually, playing with the Joe Perry Project. And my band in New York was called the Dirty Angels at the time. Mm-hmm. And we went out and we played with Aerosmith. We did some opening slots on some of their tours, through different parts of the country. And they were old friends of mine. I met them in the early 70s sometimes. So I don't even know if we have calendars that go back that far now. But if you have one, that's back there. And I got friendly with Joe on it. And when he decided to go solo for a while in the early 80s, he called up and enlisted me. So I started doing that, and that brought me to Massachusetts. And and I was right away, the radio scene and the club scene and the different rock and roll venues. I mean, I just really knew right away I wanted to move here because it was just so jumping. There was just so much activity, a lot of great bands, a lot of great music. And, the local bands were getting national shots from Massachusetts. So that was real appealing, So I played with Joe for a couple of years. I did 2 records with him. So how do you refer to them, Mike? You still call them records?
Yeah, I call them records. I'm of that age, but whatever you'd like to call them, sir. It's just about the music. Now, did you help write? You helped write some of the tunes, too, for the Joe Perry Project, right?
Yeah. In fact, sure. On the second album, I wrote several songs on those 2 albums that I did right away, those records. But there's a song called Buzz Buzz that I wrote, and we play that just because we like it, and the guys in my band like it. So when I first started playing with Joe, we were putting material together to record with, and he said, "Hey, that song Buzz Buzz that you sing with your band, the Dirty Angels? I really like that. Why don't we record it?" And so that became that was a single on the album was called "I Got the Rock and Rolls Again."
Yeah, and
it was the second Joe Perry Project record that I did with Joe, and I still love those records, both of them. I think they're great, and the first one was a real landmark. The second one introduced me to Charlie Farron, who's a great singer from New England, and he and I started a band called Fahrenheit in about '84.
Yes, and
got signed to Warner Brothers, and I believe we were getting some airplay out there in the Worcester area.
For sure. Fahrenheit, I play "Fool in Love."
Yeah.
Any chance I can get, because I love that song. And I saw you guys at Narcissus in Kenmore Square. God, I can't even remember what year that was. It was early on. Great band, good time. And Charlie Farron, great voice, awesome stuff.
Great singer.
Yeah.
One of a kind, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We got a smoking band there. And that confirmed something for me that I really I keep as part of my main set of opinions, and that is trio is great. 3-piece is a great format for me. I like to play a lot, and I like to play with other people that are really strong players. And a 3-piece band is always, if you have the right people, it's always exciting. And Fahrenheit was an example of that, I think,
The chemistry has to really be there when it's just 3 people, or else, it's just not going to happen.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
There's no place to hide.
Right.
So but and Fahrenheit, we got lucky, and we knew what we wanted, and and Charlie and I talked a lot about it, and we did a lot of writing and stuff before we ever even went out and played, and so you got to have focus and everything, but it's just a lot of it is just bumping into the right people, I think.
Yeah, you've had quite a musical journey. I mean, since you were a teenager, like you said, you were playing in bands in Connecticut, and then you were playing with some big names like you were Buddy Miles, who was Jimi Hendrix's drummer in the Band of Gypsies. You did some work with Ted Nugent. You worked with Joe Cocker. Did you work with Joe Cocker when Cliff Goodwin was in the band?
No, it was it was right after that.
Oh, okay.
And so Cliff had been with Joe for quite a long period, maybe 10 years, I would say. And he was Joe's ringleader, he was the MD for the band, music director, and really close to him. And anyway, that was quite a big time investment for Cliff. He was there for a long time. After he left, I played with Joe for a while. I toured Europe with him. It was Derek Dyer was in the band. That's how I kind of got into it. He's a great tenor sax player. He played with Tina Turner for quite some time. So yeah, I played with Joe. Joe at that point, this was in 1990 and early 90s, and Joe was like, he's a pretty big star in the United States. He always has been, right? Since the early days of that kind of rock music. And but in Europe, he was headlining soccer stadiums,
Right.
I mean, it was like way bigger than what he was like here. And it was a great time touring with him. Great festivals. The European countries, the mid-sized European countries in the summertime, weather allowing, they love their festivals.
Yes, they do it right.
Yeah, they do it right. That's so I played with Joe, and in the early days with Buddy Miles, I got a job playing with Buddy Miles, who was a pretty big star at that point in time. I mean, when he was 18 years old, he had been on the road playing drums with people like Wilson Pickett. These are soul icons, people like Wilson Pickett. So he played with a lot of people like that, and that's how he cut his, that's how he made his bones. He became a really well-known, like, soul R&B drummer at the time. And he started, and so anyway, by the time I met him, he was 23 years old. He had 4 records already done and was selling really a lot of music. And he hired me when I was 18. And so I toured the U.S. and Europe with him for several years. And so that was a great gig to get for an 18-year-old kid.
Oh, absolutely.
It was really good. And he was a great boy, I tell you. Played with him for about 3 years. And I learned more in that time than in any other period of my life. I mean, it was really fantastic learning experience. And plus, not only Buddy, but the people in his band were all really experienced, like, R&B veterans. And they were all 10 years older than me, and they knew everything about music. And they were all, like, virtuoso musicians. And so anyway, it was kind of like, going to heaven. It was really a great thing.
You must, and you were 18 at the time, so Buddy, they must have seen something in you that they were just like, we got to get this kid on board. I mean, if they were all 10 years older than you and stuff, Buddy must have saw you and just went, wow, I need to play with this guy.
That's kind of, here's how it happened. We were playing, my band was playing, we were high school kids, and we were playing in a high school auditorium in Westport, Connecticut. And Buddy was going to play a show there. He had played there, and he was a big hit. It was a high school auditorium, but it was a good theater, and they had a concert series that went for about 6 years straight. So Buddy had played there, and he got hired to come back and play a rematch, another show. And meantime, he got that gig playing with Jimi Hendrix. He was spending a lot of time with Hendrix, and the Band of Gypsies was formed. And he called up and he said, look, I can't honor that commitment. I can't come and play that show because I'm busy playing with Jimi Hendrix. And they said, buddy, not to worry. These guys that are opening the show for you, they're really great. And they know all your songs, and they're going to come and they're going to support you. They're going to play with you. We'll pay you the same money, and just all you have to do is show up. So, I mean, those were not necessarily true statements.
I was going to ask you, did you really know how to play all his songs at that point?
We were, I'll tell you what we were. We were fans, okay?
Yeah,
we were teenage fans. That was about it. That was about as far as that lie went.
Wow.
But he walked into the rehearsal sound check in the afternoon, and we were playing an Otis Redding song on stage, and we didn't know it at the time, but Buddy worshipped the ground that Otis walked on. He adored Otis Redding. And he stood there for a while watching, and, and so we played the show, and that went great. And after the show, the promoter had this rented house out at the beach in Westport and brought us all out there, and we jammed till about 8 a.m.
Wow.
And at the end of that, Buddy pulled us aside and said, boys, give me your numbers because I want you all to be my new band. And that was it,
Yeah.
And I'm giving him my number saying, hey, Buddy, look, if a lady answers, just say, Mrs. Hull, it's okay. I want to offer your son a job,
Nice. As long as you have a job, as long as the word job is in there, then it'll be okay, right?
That's what I told her.
Well,
it seemed to work out all right.
I want to fact check something with you because I read it from a bunch of different sources, but now that I'm at the best source, after Jimi Hendrix passed away and after his funeral, supposedly there was a big jam session involving you and Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell from the Jimi Hendrix Experience and Buddy and Billy Cox, who was the bass player in Band of Gypsies, and I believe Johnny Winter was also there. Also, is that true?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah, that was true. Well, that's mostly true. Billy Cox was not there because he had gotten really ill in Europe right before Jimmy died.
Okay.
But yeah, Johnny Winter was there. I think what happened was Jimmy used to say, when I die, I don't want people to go around in mourning and everything. I don't want everybody to be all downcast about this. I'd like to have a party, a big celebration. I'd like, if I was going to be around to put it on, what I would put on would be a party where we celebrated my life and my music. And I'd invite all my friends, all the people that I like to play with. And that's what they did. His friends and his family, he's from Seattle. This took place in Seattle. That's where the funeral was. And it was a big, party afterwards. It was in a big function room out at the fairgrounds in Seattle. And, Johnny Winter was there. The guys from the Experience, Mitch and Noel, were there. Miles Davis showed up.
Oh, my God. He did not. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So because Hendrix had really eclectic taste.
Yeah.
And a lot of jazz people really were attracted to his music because it was so, progressive. I mean, it wasn't what they call fusion, but it was really progressive in a very kind of, and it was a synthesis of a lot of different styles. There's R&B, there's blues in it, a lot of blues. And he got up and played. Now, I didn't get on stage at the same time as Miles, which, to my eternal regret. But still, it was great just hanging out. I got to meet him. I got to listen to him play. And he got to hear me play, which was really a kick for me, too, because Buddy's band played a set first. And, we played some funk music. And Buddy played this revved up style of, kind of sort of Sly and the Family Stone kind of funk music. It was a lot of goddamn fun.
That's awesome.
And,
that's good to know that actually happened.
Yeah, it did. It was an all afternoon. It started in the late afternoon, went into the night, and people just hung for a long time. A lot of playing involved. People were just getting on stage.
Let's talk about I don't want to say new band because you were in a band. The Dirty Angels existed when you were a teenager, right? Or was that after Buddy Miles?
Well, it was after Buddy Miles.
Okay.
And when I was about 22 or so, I moved back from L.A. to New York with this guy named Charlie Karp, who was a great friend of mine. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was an incredible guitar player. And if you see videos of Buddy Miles playing live with me in the band, then that's the guy standing next to me is Charlie Karp, and he was an outstanding guitar player, probably the best guitar player I'll ever play with.
Wow, and you've jammed with Johnny Winter and and Joe Perry and some really great ones. But that's saying something right there.
Well, he was friends with Joe, and Joe and he were had a real mutual admiration society going. They knew each other and thought quite a bit of each other's playing as lead guitar players. And but he and I started the Dirty Angels originally in the 70s, and we played right up until about 1980 when I started playing with Joe. And so we did a couple of albums and, did all right. We did a lot of touring. We would get on the bill we did a lot of shows with the Ramones,
Oh, wow. Cool.
Talking Heads, any of the New York punk bands. And even though we weren't really a punk band, but we kind of got lumped in with all the New York punk bands, and that made for some good shows.
And now the Dirty Angels are back. Not exactly the same band, but you, David Hall and the Dirty Angels, will be playing at the Rutland Sportsmen's Club August 16th.
Yeah.
You want to see them in action? That's going to be a great gig out there in Rutland. You got a few gigs going on.
Yeah.
You're opening for the Joe Perry Project on some gigs, too?
Yeah, we're playing at the Boch Center with Joe's band, his sort of super group band that he's got going, that version of the Joe Perry Project. It's got Chris Robinson and Brad Whitford's playing in it. And so we're playing at the Boch Center, better known as the Wang Center.
Yes.
Formerly known as the Wang Center. That's what I'm trying to say. But the Boch Center and Hampton Beach Ballroom, and we're playing the arena in Foxwoods. So that's the 19th, the 20th, and the 22nd of August, respectively, playing the Boch Center, Hampton Beach, and Foxwoods on those 3 days. And I think the show at the Sportsmen is going to be really great. We're playing with, Reverend Carey and the Hop Tones?
I do not. No, what are they like?
Oh, that's like kind of it's one spoonful of like Southern rock, one spoonful of blues, and kind of a revved up boogie type of thing. A really, really good band. I play with James Montgomery a lot, and James, and that's how I met Reverend Carey playing at the Sportsmen's Club. James loves to play at the Rutland Sportsmen's Club, and we have some great shows there. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great experience play. I've been playing with James now for going on 20 years. So he's a great friend and a fantastic musician. And they're really nice over there, great people. And you can get tickets at the Sportsman's Club. Actually, is it okay to hand out this number on the air? It's okay with the
as long as it's okay with the person on the other end of that number. Yeah.
He told me to do it, so
okay.
I think this is
All
the
right.
number he has set up for it. But it's just ask for Carey, a.k.a. the Reverend Carey from Reverend Carey and the Hop Tones, 774-272-5388. And that's the number, 774-272-5388. And you can get tickets that way, or you can get them right at the Sportsman's Club, which is in Rutland. It's 75 Pleasantdale Road in Rutland. And it's Pleasant Dale, one word, Pleasantdale Road in Rutland, 75 Pleasantdale Road, the Rutland Sportsman's Club. And you can go down there and, geez, even if you don't get a ticket to our show, it's a great time. The Sportsman's Club is a great hang, and the people are unbelievable. And so I'm looking forward to a great show.
Get those tickets in advance. You don't want to miss this show. And then if you're going to the Joe Perry Project shows in the area, make sure you get there early to catch David Hall and the Dirty Angels. You guys have some videos up on YouTube if you want to check out what they're like live. David, thank you so much for taking the time to talk, man. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to the Rutland Sportsmen's Club, August 16th. And what else do you said you work with James Montgomery a lot, but do you have anything else? Are you working with anybody else coming up in the future?
Well, I think my main focus, aside from, I will be playing with James. Like, that's kind of an ongoing situation, and which I really love doing. But I think my main goal here, between now and the end of the year, is going to be, I want to record the Dirty Angels, and I'm not sure where we're going to do that. I think we're going to have put something out with some element of live recording on it, and I have to figure out how much studio and how much live I want to be in the mix. But I'm just thinking in broad strokes. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. But I want to record the band, in the next 3-4 months, So I'm going to set that up and put some work in that. I'm writing now for it and rehearsing for it. We've got a bunch of material, and I think it's going to be a great thing. And I'm really, really excited about this band. I'm playing with a guy named Pete Cassani, who's the guitarist, and Steve Hart is the drummer. And they're from the indie community of musicians in Boston. And these guys are great. It's a 3-piece band, folks. No place to hide.
That's right.
Guitar, bass, and drums exposed.
Yeah.
In only the most positive way, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably the best band I've ever had, and it's a pretty entertaining thing to witness. So,
all right,
please come down to the Sportsmen's Club, everybody, and hope to see you there.
All right,
Mike, thanks for having me.
Hey, David, it's a pleasure talking to you, man. You've had an amazing musical journey, and it's great. Thank you for sharing some of that with us, and looking forward to seeing you. Rutland Sportsman's Club, August 16th. David Hull and the Dirty Angels. All right, David, thanks so much, man.
Thanks very much, Mike. Bye, everybody. Good morning. Don't forget to listen to the Pike.